Hi, this is Freya with another Q&A session. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's question comes from Francis Cormy. Thank you for the question. I have just come back to singing after 25 plus years. Well, first of all, congratulations. I think that's awesome. Any tips on how to remember the words to all your song list? I have learned a few, but I want to remember more. Thank you, Freya. Well, okay, this is a great one just because I'm dealing with this all the time. The first thing is, I'm sorry, there are no quick fixes, but the thing, I've had to memorize whole operas in foreign languages, like in Italian and French. And yes, even no matter what language you're memorizing it in, first of all, of course, you need to know what everything means. That is very important. So if you're not an English native speaker, you still should know what everything means. That way, you're not going to be able to sing a song very convincingly if you miss a word here and there and you just don't even know what the word means. So be clear. Now the best thing, and for me, that's how my brain works. The most important thing for me is repetition, 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 and more repetition, repetition, repetition. So if you want an easy way, it's going to take longer, but the easiest way to remember lyrics is just maybe record yourself. That'd be the best. That way you don't have another singer in your head and you don't copy what he or she does. Record yourself singing the songs, having the sheet music in front of you, and then keep repeating. Just play it over and over again, just in your car, when you're going for a run, and just kind of sing along. You can just mark it. You don't have to sing out perfectly all the time, but just mark it. Just even mouth it out. And as it plays, continue. Always repeat, repeat, repeat. And then what I do is do the mental work of really just taking that away, that recording, and then trying to remember and just kind of saying a poem. And then I know I will identify the spots where I'm having a hard time. And then another trick that I do is just to make pictures. Sometimes I have to memorize stuff quickly just because there's a short-term notice that I'm supposed to do this gig, or I'm supposed to, oh, do you have time tomorrow? But we're doing this song and I don't even know the song. So learning a song is very easy for me, but remembering the lyrics, of course, that's a whole different story. If I had the sheet music, I could just kind of read sheet music pretty well. But what I do is just make pictures, and what I do is act out the scene. That really helps me tremendously to have a movie scene, in front of my inner eye and just playing through that and actually physically going through it. Now, what I did when I tried to memorize Let It Go from Frozen, I had this picture, what Elsa does in the movie, in my head, and when I acted out, I do like a stomp, and I just do my arms movement like this, or turn around here, and I'd have this whole scene in my body. And what happens when you have it triggers, when you do this a few times, it will trigger the right word that's supposed to come out. And a lot of times, the first word is all you need. If you know the first word of the line that's about to start, the line just falls into place. Usually it's just the beginning. And what I do with my students a lot of times, like we try to, take away the sheet music as soon as possible so that way they can practice memorizing. And we put away the sheet music, and then usually I can tell, like I would just kind of shout out the first word of the line, and then it's fine. And that's how my mind works, and that's how I think most people's minds work. You need those triggers. And if you just, for the life of you, can't remember that first word of this and this phrase, usually there's like in some songs, it's very hard because it repeats, but it's different. It's almost the same, but it's different. Sometimes there are some hard songs. But what I do is also sometimes just kind of do some tricks. I have this one song that, I don't know, I just can't remember. But the only way I remember it is that I try to remember, okay, Now the first part starts in alphabetical order of what the beginning is, and the second part reverse alphabetical order of the beginning word. I knew the words, but I never could remember which one comes first. So that way, I just kept that in mind, and then it fell into place. Now it's easy for me to remember, but every time I have to think like, okay, the first one is in alphabetical order and the second one is reverse. So I hope this helped you, these tips to remember the lyrics, because I think that's a very important part as a singer, to be on stage and not have lyrics in front of you. First of all, you're gonna come across so much better. You need eye contact with your audience. And second of all, you can perform so much better and be free and just concentrate on what you do vocally when you don't have to look at a page and even try to like, oh my goodness, what are the words? It's good when you really know them by heart, to where you don't have to think about it very hard. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep the questions coming. Ask below any of my videos, and your question may be one of the next ones featured on my next video Q&A here. And until next time, don't forget, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing. Bye.